me say one thing real quick.
Hey guys, welcome to our first EverRise Roundtable AMA. My name's Justin Tyler. You know me as Lord TJ. I'm the community and marketing lead here on the team. We're really excited to have you all here. Make sure to send in your questions via the YouTube live chat. We'll be monitoring them and getting to as many as possible. Make sure you have watched our docs. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Welcome Titan and Guard, your faces. Beautiful. Happy to have you guys public finally. Thank you to Gokhshtein Media for hosting it. But those who don't know and are just joining the EverRise family, we're going to go around and do some quick introductions.
So hi everybody, my name in the community is Guard. My actual name is Aleksi Ollikainen-Read. I was a legal academic in Oxford for a number of years and now I work in a government institution. I did law as an undergraduate, as a postgraduate. I got my PhD in Oxford in law and like I said, I taught there for a number of years and that's my background.
Titan?
Hi, my name is Suresh Maddineni. So I'm some computer programmer for the software developer for 20 years. I'm feeling a little bit tensed. I mean, like this is the first time I'm speaking with you guys. So yeah, we'll have a long journey. So you can really ask me anything. I'm ready to answer any questions. So thank you. Thank you for everything. Yeah.
David?
How's it going, guys? You guys know me. Well, I hope you guys know me. If you don't, my name is David Gokhshtein. I am the founder of G Media. I am also the CEO of Pack Protocol, but I am a brand consultant here with EverRise. And I'm actually, bless you if that was you sneezing. Yeah, happy to be here. I've been in the industry for a very long time, so extremely happy about this AMA.
Awesome. So before we actually jump into the AMA, I want to talk a little bit about EverOwn. So in the docs event, Titan, you talked about EverOwn. And for those of you who are new, EverOwn is a decentralized application that allows for developers to renounce contract ownership and then reclaim it with the community's acceptance.
Yes, that's right. And I should say a little bit about the seeming controversy over in the Telegram group. As you would have noticed, we had a pre-recorded interview with Ross that we did earlier. We're still in the same suits and still everything else. While we were doing that, we were loading up this live event. So this is the live Q&A that we were talking about, and that interview was pre-recorded. There's nothing really to see there. Going now on to EverOwn and the EverOwn demo, it is, as you know, it is extremely important for projects to be able to renounce their contracts to gain their investors' trust. But it is also very important that changes can continue to be made into their contracts. And so that is kind of the niche where we're at, and that's where EverOwn really comes into its own. That's the first and the clearest kind of use case that we have for EverOwn, and with many more to come. But let's now move on to showing it.
Absolutely. So with that said, make sure you guys drop some questions in the chat because we're going to take your questions. We'll chat. It's a round table. But before we get to that, Titan, you want to show off what you've been working on for the last little bit?
Do you want me to show the demo right away?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, cool. So this is the EverOwn dApp what we have built. So basically the idea is, when we started creating this EverOwn, like when I thought of EverOwn, it was mainly for the safety of the projects rather than protection for anything. Like we want, it's because I have been involved in like multiple projects where the projects got stuck up in like something went wrong and we couldn't do anything. The ownership was renounced. So at the time, a couple of advantages for this. One thing is we can actually renounce the ownership temporarily to EverOwn and get it back. And as long as the contract is with the EverOwn, any kind of newly generated liquidity will be placed under EverOwn, which means we are stopping one kind of rug pull where the devs are take out the liquidity pool tokens. Now it is under the EverOwn. So even this liquidity can be taken out only through community voting. And one more important feature, which I haven't told anyone so far, we have been talking about EverLock, and this EverOwn comes with EverLock by default, which means if you come through, if any project launches on DXL anything, they will have a pre-lock on their site. But if we have any kind of fair launches where you directly open it, then if you want to lock the liquidity, you don't need to go to any other lockers and lock it. You can just join the EverOwn and I can just transfer those tokens. It will be locked automatically, like we don't need to pay anything. So there is a built-in EverLock feature within the EverOwn itself. So in order to use this EverOwn, like we have, there is some fee structure, and also we'll be doing some kind of manual audit whenever the contract comes into EverOwn. So I will show you like all the steps and all. So let us go one by one. So these are like UI, what you see. First thing is we have some instructions like how much is the fee and everything. So when we go to register EverOwn, it says like I cannot even enter anything here. So for that, first we need to connect the wallet. So the same way, like I can actually connect my wallet. I have already one contract created, fresh one. So let me use this contract. So as soon as we actually look for the contract, we take the ownership of, we ask the owner, like I hereby said, we actually record everything in the backend so that we have the entire records is stored in the Amazon cloud. So I'm the owner or creator of EverOwn, and we just take the sign, and then we go and get the information. So once we get the information, we'll have it. So let me change something. And we can actually upload the logo. Let me put our EverRise logo here. And we can actually put something in this card. I don't even remember the name. Let me just put. So one is good. If the project is already like, if the project information is already available on the BSS scan, everything will be pre-populated here from there. So we don't need to add anything. So once we get it, we transfer the fee. And we just wait for the fee transfer to create the EverOwn contract. So now the money is already transferred. Now we create the EverOwn contract. So now the contract is the EverOwn. So here you can see that what is the contract address, who is the contract creator, or what is the EverOwn contract address. So here we just agree for the terms. When I say submit, it will be stored in the Amazon cloud with all the details. And also we're providing extra safety here for the developer, whoever is renouncing it. You can actually create a password so that only he can access it. So once that is done, you can just go to the, so there are a couple of, you can see like there are already some contracts which I tested earlier. So right now, whenever you create a new contract, whenever somebody onboards to EverOwn, we put it under pending review. So at this point of time, what we do is we go and look at the code and see there are no honeypots. At least the contract is tradable and there are no scams involved within the contract, like they're not minting any new tokens. Just small like random checks, like see that everything is good. Once we do that, we update the contract to be contract verified. Then the icon will come here. Until that time, until we make it as verified, it will be staying at the below. So now if you see, like if you have the links, everything will be visible. So, okay, this is our contract data screen where we say what is the contract address, what is the renounced contract address, everything. So the next step, what we have to do is we have to transfer the, so far what I've done is we just created our own contract. Now we have to actually transfer the ownership to this contract address, which means I can just go there. So I give this new EverOwn contract address, just make sure I'm giving the EverOwn contract address. It's not even reading it. And I pay the transaction that okay, now the transfer of ownership is done to EverOwn. You can now check on the BSC scan itself who is the current owner of this contract. You can go to the read contract and look for the owner. So it says this is the address, which is our EverOwn contract address. Now the question is, how do we get it back? So in order that any user can actually come here and try to vote or take, I mean, they can actually view the details, but only the owner will be able to modify any of the things. So for that, he needs to connect to his wallet. At the same time, he needs to log into his account by using his EverOwn contract address. So what are the password he has created? So this is the extra security we are putting in to make sure that only developer has access. Now he logs, now if you see like he logged in at the same time his wallet is connected, now we enable the buttons. So if you want the ownership back, you just need to reclaim the ownership. So for everything, we need to hold some amount of RISE, that is a fixed amount. And for the transfer of ownership, reclaim, it's only like 0.1 BNB. So what you can do is like confirm it. Once the transaction is done, we'll show the voting options. Most of the times, like this mining, it takes time sometimes. Sometimes it'll be pretty fast. You just need to wait for the confirmation. Yeah, once it's done, we have like, there will be 3 polls, one for vote for ownership transfer to developer, or vote for ownership transfer to second owner. I will come to this point at the later stage and vote for unlock liquidity. So which means any newly generated liquidity will be stored under EverOwn, or even if it is direct fair launch, if you want to lock your liquidity right away, you can just come to EverOwn and lock it. So here I can just say like day 31st, 220, let me put 215. Mostly like we'll be putting 24 hours is the minimum, and like the minimum time what, but for the demo I have removed the validation, so it's like only 15 minutes I'm putting. Or is it 2:30? I put 5:15. Okay. So right now the voting is running, so which means it's actually 1 hour 15 minutes. I think I have put it like 18:30. So what we have to do is, see at this point what happens is, if you see here like my contract, a couple of things I need to show you. Currently the holder is only 1. which means only this holder is allowed to vote, no other holder is allowed to vote. So once I created this app, I mean, we are going to get the snapshot from everything, like what are the holder list. That might take like ideally a couple of minutes, like 3 to 4 minutes. Until that time, we might get, even if we try to vote, it will give some errors. So it's better to wait, we get those results back. Yeah, meanwhile, I can just talk like, I mean, yes. Or, meanwhile, I will do one thing, like I will transfer some of the tokens to some other accounts and making sure that so we have something here. Let me transfer to one account. Okay, so which means I have the tokens here on the other account. Okay, so what we can do is now we can try voting here, but before that, I want to show you, like, I'll disconnect this wallet. I will try to connect to the new wallet where I transfer my tokens. So ideally, this wallet he got the tokens after I created the voting, which means he's not supposed to vote on this. So if we just go there, we take the signature for him, like here, whatever the option he's choosing. So we say that account is not eligible to vote since no tokens voted at the time of the poll creation. So which means they cannot cheat. Like, I mean, after the vote is created, they cannot transfer the tokens and do the voting. So we won't allow that. So now let me disconnect this and go back to the original one. So here, once I vote, I give the same option, like we say what is the balance and everything. So now the vote is registered successfully. So you can actually see the results. Everyone, whoever is logging in, like you can see like how many total holders participated so far, total, how much of the percentage, everything. And also you can see, I mean, right now it's only one, but we'll go for the 2 and 3. So you can actually see, like, if we go and search for this, because once we have the results, if you want to know what is the response, is specific wallet response, we can go and check, okay, that specific wallet give this answer. So now we have this, everything ready, like, I mean, but unfortunately I put a wrong one, like we have to wait until, so the poll will not be completed from the UI. So, which means what I can do is, I can just leave this poll as it is, or I can go and update in the background, or I can create one more routing. That would be easy. Let me show you that. Now, if you remember, now I'm creating a second voting, even though I am not closing that. So in this new voting, this account as well as the other account who got the transfer of tokens, even both can vote, because at the time of this voting creation, we have 2 holders holding the tokens. This time, let me give 250. Mm, 245. So we'll have one more running. So again, at this point, it will try to get the folder list, everything from the backend. So, I mean, this is like, since I'm doing the demo, I cannot just give the timings whatever I want. So the real live, it will be like minimum 24 hours. So the user and the developer who is creating the voting, he has to wait until the voting is done. Then when the voting is finished, it automatically moves to the poll history side where he has to close the voting. So I just want to show you that part. Meanwhile, I will explain, like, we can actually edit the product if you want to change anything. And also the alternate owner is like, I just need to put one more link there. So when you click on that, we'll be updating the alternate owner where if the owner is not available or something happens to the owner, there should be some way to reclaim this ownership to a different address. So we are adding that functionality. So the smart contract wise, everything is there on the UI. I need to add the alternate owner. That is one thing. So let me wait. If you go and see, like, as I explained, like, these are the pending items. This will be like verified items. Whatever you see on the top side, it will be like the good contracts or like contract wise that tradable. Or I can actually let me go and change in the back end, otherwise you stop waiting. So that yes, it is only for testing purpose. I'm just showing, like, generally. So yeah, sure.
While we wait, I just want to give Titan a huge shout out. This is his first time on camera. This is his first time speaking with the community. There's obviously immense pressure on him. So I think you performed really well today. I'm super happy for you personally as a friend and as a peer to see your vision come to light. I mean, if you're just joining in now, I was with Titan from the very beginning. And to see this from where we started as just a token to having actual real utility that's going to make the BSC space safer for everybody is just huge. And I'm so proud of it, the whole team. I'm proud of you, Titan. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, good job. You know, Titan's been working 24/7, so much respect to Titan. It's all about building something. I always say that it's all about use case utility and building something that's quality, and that's what Titan's been able to do along with the entire team. So congratulations, Titan.
Yeah, I mean, we're the rest of us are just here to help Titan build his vision. I'm really seeing this. Just blows my mind. I mean, I know I've gone through this with the technical lead, but seeing the boss showcase his own handiwork is just something special. I mean, I do take this as a really privileged position to be in. And I mean, I'm just looking at that and I'm thinking all the things that we could use this for. I mean, it's really is an incredible product, and I hope clever people will start thinking of new and innovative ways to use it.
Okay, Jason. Yeah, Jason, I'm good. Okay, so now actually I closed both of the polls on the back end so that we can actually proceed with the demo. So before I actually close the poll, I just want to show you what is the current owner. Like, we haven't actually changed anything. It will still be the same owner, which is our own. You can see now this is the poll where we already voted with 100%. So which means once I close this poll, it should show me like it should directly change the ownership transfer back to the contract owner, whoever has earlier created it. So it just looks at the results, everything, and it's only like one thing. And it goes and calls the smart contract to transfer the ownership back. Yeah, so now it is done. Since it is a smart contract, again, we might need to wait a little more bit to actually get it. I can just refresh and see. Yeah, you see like the ownership already changed back to the creator, like whoever has, if you see that is my creator address. So this is the owner which was initially created the contract. Now I just got it back. And if I just, after I get the contract ownership back, I can just do whatever the change of parameters, whatever I just need. And next time I don't need to go to EverRise dApp anymore. As long as I know what is my EverOwn contract address, I can just transfer the ownership back right from your VS scan so that it will be safe there. Whenever you want it back, you can just come back to the here, create another poll. We show the list of polls, like the poll history everywhere. So that is pretty much like, as I said, when you saw those voting options, we have the unlock liquidity, which means any newly generated liquidity when the contract is under the ownership of your own will be logged under your own. So even that can be taken out by community voting. So mostly, we don't want to touch the liquidity because that is where the people trade on. But if you want to transfer the entire token to a different token, then we need the liquidity. So there are some circumstances where you need the liquidity, you have to access it. If you lock it on a time bound, like suppose, for example, EverRise liquidity is locked for 1 year. Now, if you want to create a new contract and change assets, I cannot do. I have to wait until my 1 year to finish up that locked liquidity, then only I can transfer the assets. But right now with the community, if there are issues or like, there are issues actually, even for me, I want to transfer the liquidity, but there are issues I can't do. So when the things are there, we are stuck. We have to wait. There is no other alternative. So this is the best way to go with for anything like either ownership or lock-in liquidity, community voting. Like you have, if you don't want the entire community, because I'm not putting in a restriction like all the community has to vote, come and vote, because I know that people won't vote, but at least there will be people watching you, what you are doing. So this kind of a security for the investors that, okay, something is not going scammy thing. Like, people will know what we are doing. So, and every voting will be like 24 minutes. If there are any emergency situations or anything, we are always there to support you. That is the reason why we are doxing, because you can see us. We can do, we are the protectors of the ownership. At the same time, we'll be supporting you for anything you need, like emergency cases. So yeah, that is pretty much with the EverOwn dApp. We are, there are like a couple of small adjustments of the UI, the spacing and all. We just need to make sure. Of course, we'll be launching pretty soon. It's not too long, and we'll be good. Are we good to announce? Or
so, if you want me to, I'm more than happy to tell everybody.
Let's save that.
Let's save that.
Okay.
Shall we say? Okay. Shall we save that till a little bit later?
Yeah, let's take some questions. Before I say anything else, I just want to say it works. Great job. This is going to be game changing. I'm super thrilled just to be part of this team. Thank you to the community for believing in us and sticking with us. A lot of you are still with us from the very beginning. We made crazy promises. We delivered on them, and EverOwn is here. It wasn't just a myth. You just saw it with your eyes first. The same time I saw it, I haven't even seen it yet, and I am just absolutely blown away. So, Titan, great work. Team, great work. And with that said, we'll take some questions. So I was scrolling through the chat. I wrote a couple down. So this is one from Vantage. I got a question for the Titan. How do we assure nobody copies this and makes their own app and do the similar with another name? I'm talking about the legal part and the code. So this might be kind of guard and Titan.
Yeah, copying code, this is just an idea. See, they don't need to copy. It's not an idea. Everyone is we're just holding the ownership. Everybody can come up with their own implementation I mean, yeah, they can write their own code. So it's not a big deal. I mean, like, even if they copy, it's all about the intentions, how you're going to use it. I mean, so if they are legitimate, yeah, we can't just have one company doing everything, right? I mean, we need to allow multiple people to do the same things. See, there is already a locker. We are trying to come up with a locker. Simple. We're already copying something, but still we want to come up with a better plan. So because the community voting of zoning or locking is not there at all. So right now we're coming up with the innovative idea. So some other people can come up with new idea again. So it's evolution. Like legal part, I don't know. Like I cannot say much on that. But this software related, I don't see anybody can do it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So there are essentially two ways that you can protect a product. One way is to just corner the market, right? To be the guy who did it. You know, Samsung and Apple both have touchscreen phones, and so do 100 other phone companies, but nobody's ever heard of those because they just didn't get there first, you know? So that's one way to protect a product is just to take the market. Another way to protect a product is, you know, through legal means. We do something of a combination of the two. The problem with going full thermonuclear on the legal stuff is that we would basically become a litigation company. We would only do that one thing because we already have something like 2,000 people copying us, or 2,000 projects people copy us left, right, and center. We only really react to the ones that, you know, are on a sort of cost-benefit analysis, with on the cost side being the time and effort spent, and on the benefit analysis, like the actual use that we can get from knocking that competitor out. So we don't react to the little insects that kind of copy this kind of stuff, and don't really pose any threat, because we have that first protection in place, right? We are the first to market with anything like this. The code of this is not publicly available, although of course the process happens on the blockchain, so that part is available, and that part can't be patented or anything like that. So somebody could technically copy it. It's just that, you know, they won't have as good a product, and they won't be first to market with it. You know, we have a lot of people already lined up. We have a lot of uses planned and a lot of marketing planned to roll out this product. And I mean, that just means that we don't have to react to every little insect that, you know, buzzes around in the room. We just react to the ones that are actually dangerous.
Good stuff. Another thing I'm going to add to that, I mean, just from personal experience, would you rather go with a trust? Let's say someone does come along and make something similar or copy this in some way, and they're a new project and they just launched saying, we can do this. Would you trust them, or would you trust the people that have been around for a long time, where you know all the faces, you know, they have established a presence, and it just kind of goes back to that. So, I mean, even if it does get copied, I personally am not too worried, but yeah, you guys said it great. So I have another question here for David. What attracted you to EverRise so early on?
I liked, what caught my eye right away was the buyback option. And I was like, okay, this is something like, I haven't seen it. Let me do some more research. Digging into EverRise, you found out that really, besides the buyback being a real utility to me, the product's being worked on. I was like, okay, this is legit. This is not somebody who's just, or this is not just a protocol just sitting back and stating that they're going to come out with something. They're actually legitimately doing something. And as you've seen today, one of the products was unleashed. So that was just nice to see. And that, listen, buyback, without a doubt, that attracted me instantly. But then getting to know, obviously, the staff and the team, and having real products being made, that solidified everything.
Awesome. Question from Alex. Are there any plans in the future for bridged versions on other ecosystems like Ethereum or Solana?
Yeah, I mean, my next most priority item is bridging to Ethereum. So yeah, we have plans, because I want to take these dApps to ETH also. So which means before I take these apps there. I want to have the bridging so that people will be having benefited from there itself. So yeah, we have plans immediately.
Right. A question from Vantage. Can this work for NFT projects?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked at their contracts yet, so I cannot really give you the answer.
Gotcha. Mad Mark wants to know if the voting strength is proportional to the amount of tokens that you're holding.
Yeah. Yes, it depends on your weight, what number of tokens weightage, and that weightage is at the time of voting creation, whatever you have.
Great. Another one. I like this question. Where do the fees collected from EverOwn go?
The fees collected from EverOwn, 50% goes to Kraken. I mean, actually, we haven't seen that. Let me see. When I bought this EverOwn, we might be seeing that Kraken.
Yeah, so
basically I changed it. Yeah, basically I changed it to, for testing purpose, I changed it to, I was taking 6 BNB, and this is the transaction which went to the Kraken of 6 BNB.
So what the boss is there showing you guys is that the 50% of the fee goes into the Kraken, 25% is used to buy Rise tokens, which will be distributed to all the holders. You may remember a couple of weeks ago, we did a very mysterious and kind of an odd number of a giveaway, and it was for everybody who was holding. And people were really wondering about that. You know, why do you guys do that? And why don't you just burn it and this kind of thing? Well, now you know why. We were testing the function of that remaining part, the 25% of the fee, which goes to holders.
That's great. How much will we be charging projects to use EverOwn?
For onboarding, it is 24 BNB. It's only one-time fee, and after that, for every voting, like they can do a number of votings, either for ownership transfer or to unlock liquidity or like any kind of voting. Everything is 0.1 BNB, and as I said, they are getting the EverLock feature by default free with this EverOwn. For all, see, if they're not doing any pre-sale, they're directly launching it, they have the direct option of doing EverOwn as well as EverLock directly with the same product. So it's very good advantage for the new projects to actually use it.
Yeah, that's great. This one is for you, Titan. What programming languages do you fancy? Has your work been mostly back end or front end?
Mine is like entire experience is based on Java, and I am mainly a backend developer. Like most of my career, like I might have touched on the front end, but I'm not too much focused on the front end because I don't like the JavaScript, the way the things. I mean, not current JavaScript modules or anything, but earlier when I was in 2002 or 3, like it was very hectic. I was not impressed, but mainly on the backend. So that is the reason when I came to this crypto world, I mean, when I looked at the Solidity, it looked so pretty similar to what I know. Like, I mean, frankly, like when you guys don't know if you don't know the coding, but whatever you see the contracts, it is pretty simple. Like, I mean, it's not a very big logic unless you, I mean, as long as you have some basic knowledge, you'll understand what is going on. And I just want to tell here itself, since you don't know, most of the people don't know what is going on in the code. You don't know what are the scams going on also. So every day there are so many scams, each and every project. I mean, if you just know how to dig through the transactions and go through the code, there are a hell lot of scams. Like, I mean, I am scared to say this, but I mean, still, yeah, we will be having some kind of solutions for this, but at the same time, we cannot, BS space is completely shit space, actually. I mean, everywhere there is the same thing. I don't know how the project will go, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going, but let us say, I think I gave so much of answer for this.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it is what is important, I think, for people to know is that these kinds of liquidity drain things that EverOwn specifically targets, or EverOwn specifically is an answer to, they are a huge problem. They're an absolutely enormous problem, even in projects that you wouldn't believe, right? if you go through, I won't name any names, but if you go through transactions in a lot of different projects, you will see it. And that money comes from you. You pay into the liquidity pools of these projects. They take out that liquidity and pocket the money. That's fraud. That is literally a fraud. We are here to work something out. We're seeing that. We're angry, frankly, and we are putting out products that are going to help resolve some of those problems. That's the mission, and that's why we're all here, and that's what we believe in.
Very well said. A question from Alok. Any plan for an EverRise blockchain?
We can't say right now. I mean, we don't know, so we have to wait and see.
Yeah, that would obviously be, if that does come to light, that'd be further down the pipeline. I mean, our focus right now is EverOwn and the next dApp, which actually leads me to the next question. I've seen a lot of this. What is the next dApp after EverOwn?
I'm thinking since EverLog is already kind of integrated with the EverOwn, I initially thought of having EverWallet and EverSwap, but now I'm planning to go with the EverSale so that I will have the entire concept of like launching and everything. And EverWallet is actually a consumer-driven product, and EverSale is, I don't know, basically the thing is I am very good at backend, so I already have the code for the backend for all these, whatever the products I mentioned. I need to put them on the front end, and I need to take the help of other people to actually give me the good front end on that. That is where we take more time. So I don't know. Frankly, I cannot say I'm focused because I have the code. So whatever comes first, let us see. But all will be coming.
So I have a question for you three. What is your favorite dApp that we're working on?
I'm gonna go right with it. EverOwn. I didn't mean to skip you. I saw you were going in there, but no, it's EverOwn because we need it. The space needs it. It's something. It's a real use case, and I know I say that a lot on all my social media platforms. But at the end of the day, it's a real use case. It prevents scammers, man, from scamming people, man. Period, said and done. And that's that's the one that I really am attached to.
Yeah, it's a really, really good one. It also has other non-scam related uses, which I'm personally very, very interested in, and making those uses available in really unexpected places. You can make a corporate governance system out of it. You can put your own contract into a different contract, which you can then put on EverOwn and give a vote to each of your board of directors, for example. That's really incredible. We could integrate, corporate governance into the blockchain or into the contract system, smart contract system of the blockchain. I mean, it's incredible. I think my personal favorite, and this is perhaps a little bit unusual choice, is actually EverLock. I mean, aside from EverOwn, which is a wonderful product, but EverLock has this great feature which people haven't really perhaps thought about, which is, given that people's liquidity pools are locked, or the initial liquidity is locked, what that means is there can never really be a way that one project buys out another project by doing something that in the corporate world would be called a share transfer. So we at one point were going to buy out a competitor, or we were thinking about buying out a competitor. It was actually really more like a rescue deal because they were using their Kraken so badly. But the way the deal would have worked is we would have exchanged our tokens to their tokens and then absorbed their liquidity pool and their Kraken, and everybody would have benefited. We would have bought out a competitor, and the competitors' investors would have got out of a badly managed project and into a well-managed project. So that would have been good for everybody. Problem was, we could not do that because their liquidity was locked. There was no way to go through with that deal because their liquidity was locked. If they were using EverLock, they could have initiated a vote. Their own holder base could have voted on it, and we could have gone through with that merger. So Everlock could actually create a whole market of mergers and acquisitions in this space, and that's really special. It's a small little thing, but it's a really genius product because it creates a whole market. And this is the kind of innovation that Titan is so good at. It's simple, but so effective, and I really like that one.
For me, I mean, I like the Ever Wallet because, I mean, the way the wallet came into mind, like, I mean, I was listening to the people on the voice call. I mean, they were talking about, Shadan, like, we have seen so many wallets, like anywhere hot wallets or cold wallets, like for these, suppose if I have MetaMask, you need to store this seed phrase. If you lose this seed phrase, or if your computer is hacked, or if you have the hardware wallet, I mean, again, you might lose it, or you might lose your seed phrase. Everywhere seed phrase is required, right? So for me, like if we have our wallet, I can use multiple accounts, which means I'll be having like from the MetaMask, I can go and use my Ever wallet. From the Trust wallet, I can go and use the same Ever wallet, and I can lock my Ever wallet whenever I don't need it. I mean, simple. But suppose before I go to sleep, I just lock it. By tomorrow morning, wake up and unlock it and do the trade. So you will go to sleep peacefully, knowing that your tokens are safe. I mean, like that is one. I mean, I'm thinking I want to finish it pretty fast. As I said, I have the backend ready. The only thing is the front end. So looking forward to get that as early as possible, so that consumers will be more useful. I mean, they will use that more rather than these are like for the projects, whatever we're building, our wallet is mainly for the consumers. So we want to make sure their assets are safe and in a secure way. So.
I mean, it's very clear based on your answers that safety and security is the #1 priority for EverRise and the dApp ecosystem. So that's great. With that said, I have one last question before we close it out. Will EverRise be transferring ownership to EverOwn? And if so, how will we continue to use the Kraken if we do transfer the ownership?
Yes, we will transfer the ownership to EverOwn, except those 2 Kraken functions. So there are a couple of Kraken functions, like enabling the auto buyback or triggering the buyback. If we start transferring to EverOwn, we have to keep getting it back. I mean, so for now, those 2 functions will be excluded from the EverOwn transfership, and all other functions will be transferred. And once we have the proper AI, I mean, like we need to find out this. So see, the thing is, I cannot leave it auto buyback on because we are still prone to bot attacks, and there is possibility of again coming back and triggering the, I mean, buyback and emptying out the Kraken. So I don't want to take that risk because we need to protect the Kraken as much as possible. At the same time, we need to protect it, and also we need to feed it so much bigger that, I mean, people will notice that, okay, as long as the Kraken is going, so that is the reason I always want to feed the revenue to Kraken directly, that it will give the safety and also it will give the trust. Like you just need to, you can just go to sleep like knowing that your investment is still there. Even though if you see like right now people are dumping, it doesn't matter, right? As long as you have the Kraken there, it will come back. So you don't need to much worry about the dumps and all. So that is the only thing.
Great. Well, thank you, Suresh. Thank you, David. Thank you, Aleksi. With that said, let's announce EverOwn.
Yes, shall I take the floor on this?
It's all you.
Go ahead.
So it is my great pleasure finally to announce the release date of EverOwn. I know that you guys have been calling for this. I have been biting my lip having to keep this from you guys, but EverOwn will be launched next week, Wednesday. That is the Wednesday, the 8th of September. So that is when we're going live. We are currently in the process of onboarding clients and this sort of thing. EverOwn will be going live next week, Wednesday. That is we're very excited. We're very happy to announce that. We are absolutely thrilled that we have our first use case out, and we cannot wait for people to discover the multiple uses that this product has, not just in the BSC space, but hopefully in the real world as well.
Wow. September 8th, guys, you heard it here first. Thank you for tuning into our first roundtable. I want to thank you 3 again for popping up on video and chatting with the community, and just finally announcing EverOwn and Titan for you showing the demo finally, which is what everyone has been waiting for. With that said, guys, we'll talk to you again soon.
I just need 2 minutes. So yeah, I have been chatting all the time. I had never spoken to you guys, so now you know me, and I'll be speaking to you. You can ask me. I'm actually 24/7 on the VC. I can give you answers whenever you want. If I'm in front of my laptop or anything, so you can. There is no hiding or anything. Whatever you can ask me, anything is good. So simple. So I'll be talking to you soon on the VC.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you in the community voice chat. That's for sure. Awesome. Well, with that said, guys, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Keep your eye on our Twitter for more updates, and we'll see you on September 8th when we launch.